Another beautiful day. I got the whole day to work on the van. As for the cabinet design, I kept it very similar to what we did in the kitchen. This time I actually removed the top board just to maximize height. When you're lying on the bed, I don't want this to come too low. I'm already a little concerned that it might be a bit lower than I wanted, but it's gonna have to work. And now we're gonna do the door. So I really like this design that we did here. It worked really well. These hinges were a little bit pricey, but they're pretty impressive. They hold that thing fully out, so you just lift it and it stays. And I really like that concept, so we're gonna do it over here. Alright, we got these boards cut. They look good. That's gonna sit like that and then pop up. Now, unfortunately I'm out of this trim that I did this one with, so I want to do the same. But I don't want to waste the day going to Home Depot, so I'll let that sit to the side. And my new project is working on paneling for this. So this is tongue and groove. Probably just gonna go 2 pieces, then cut out that shape and mount it on there. These came with the van, and that's nice because that's the exact size. So I'll just put that on, trace it out, cut it out, and reinstall.
Okay, it's tile day, and as you can hear, there's some bickering in the background. Everyone's deciding how to tile, how do you tile? So we've got our white subway tiles, and we're just gonna give it a shot. We've got it all lined up. We've got our tile cutter thing here, and whatever that sloppy stuff is. Battery's back up in action. So we've done, wow, we're flying. That's 4 rows.
Yeah, I know, it's going up real quick.
And it's looking good, huh? You happy?
Very happy.
Me too. Who knew we were such
No major issues. The tiles are cutting nicely. Kind of learned how to, well, we broke 1 or 2, but now we're flying.
What's the trick, Bob?
The trick is to, and no one told me this at the rental place, but you basically, you run it through the saw upside down. For some reason that's working better.
And slow.
Slow.
Slow and steady wins.
Alright, so this one's gonna go just like that, right?
Yep. We're just chucking them up.
Flying.
Okay, so pretty stoked on how that's looking. We just have to finish up. You can see this last little bit, and our tiles are just like, they almost want to fit in there. So Eamon's just cutting off a little bit on the top. This little machine's working out pretty well as well, so we're pretty happy with the whole process, hey?
Yeah, the guy at Home Depot highly recommended there was a cheaper version. It was like a press tile cutter.
Oh yeah?
This was like $10 more for a wet blade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very wet.
I think it...
It is. I got all wet when I used it. So, before we were cutting them in half almost. Now we're cutting off the top.
The tile's up. They look good. Now we're just pulling out the spacers. And Beck's just trying to clean the tiles off. Try and get more hot water in there. Not like soaking it. And Bob's just trying to make as much noise as possible. But yeah, that's... Okay guys, we're on to wall number 2. Look how good the first wall looks. Beauty. Now, this side is going to be a little bit more of a pain, but we are a little bit more experienced tilers now. But see, obviously in the sprinters, that curve. So that's going to be an issue, as well as the countertop has that lip in the corner. But we've got a really good professional here who's taking control. And if she screws up, it's her fault.
Buddy.
I'm just kidding. Little afternoon bed frame session. So we're doing the classic slat bed because this section over here will slide in. So we're spacing it evenly. And then, let me see that for a second. I'll show them. These boards will slide in like that.
Ah, cool to see it come to life.
It's important that you leave a little gap there for shrinkage because the wood does expand and contract.
Right.
There's a slider right here.
And then what, are we sleeping just on this?
No, no, this goes over.
That's connecting to the other box over there.
This is left right side.
I love how Beck's learning at the same time you guys are.
Okay, put that there.
Because when Eamon designs and builds, everything's in his head, so he can't show you blueprints. He just has to. You have to believe him.
No blueprints.
No blueprints. No blueprints. But I think we showed you this as well. But I'm super excited with how this
Are you watching this?
turned out. Oh, look at that.
Oh, this is that one.
We are pro tilers now. Very, very impressed.
I was just saying to Beck, we're supposed to buy like a, I think it's like a soft trowel kind of thing to actually apply the grout. But we're doing it on the cheap. So we're just gonna use the trowel we used with the adhesive and come on and spread it on. What do you think of the color match, Beck?
I think it's good. I don't really know. I think it'll be good.
I think it's gonna be great.
I think it's gonna be great.
First things first, I'm the realist. I'm gonna chuck on the LED light strip. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm not gonna do that. Spread it on! This is so brutal. This is definitely not the way to do it. If I was to do it again, I'd probably spend that $5.99.
So go get it.
Should I?
I mean, I guess the reason you wouldn't do it this way is that normally it's a much bigger job, right?
Yeah.
Is there like a reason technically why this is gonna look worse?
I don't think so. Smooth it out with our thumbs. But any like professional tiler is probably watching this going, oh my god.
What are you doing? Some of them stick out more than others, that just we did a bad job.
Yeah. How wet of a pause?
So we've done a tiny section here and we're just trying to read what to do next. After spreading, drag the edge of the float diagonally across to remove the excess grout. Clean immediately before grouting next section. Using a lightly dampened grout sponge held flat against the tile, apply even light pressure and use a circular motion to loosen excess grout from the tile surface. Shape joints to be full and smooth. Oh, here we go.
Definitely doesn't look pretty over there, but just wipe it off afterwards and you get a nice, clean, detailed finish. Very impressed with that. Came out real good.
Happy campers!
Here's the situation right now. The van's pretty dusty. But hey, would you look at that structure? So this is something I built last night. My camera was dead, which is classic. But basically, this serves dual purpose. Actually, technically 3 purposes. So this is just a box, a very structurally sound box. You can get an elephant on top of that. And then your door slides, your bed slides, which I think I showed you in the last shot. If not, I'll show you in a minute. Slide out and will rest along there. There's a bunch of boards on there. Those aren't going to be there. And then basically these 2 boards are going to house just a box. So it's just going to be boxed in. And I've left it extra long here. My batteries haven't arrived, but they should fit. Oh my god, this van is just brutally dirty. I need to clean it. But 2 batteries right there. So they're like 13 by 7. They should fit nicely. Boop, boop, hooked up. And all my electrical feeds in there. So pretty stoked that I got all the electrical in. Now we just need to box that up. Oh, also, hey there, good looking. How are you down there? I also installed my door slides. Now that was a bit of a pain. So these are 500-pound drawer slides. I got them on Kijiji, which I was unbelievably stoked about. I saw them on Amazon for like $500, and I was able to find them on Kijiji for 60 bucks. Get that. Now they needed a little bit of modification, because they were not the exact style that I needed, but they're gonna work absolutely perfectly. Let me just open this up here. Boom. Look at that, it's awesome. Huge drawer. That's 24 inches width, and I think I've got about 34 height, which is pretty nice. This just has a lock on it. You gotta be careful you don't pinch your hand. We're having a really frustrating time with these cupboards. Starting to see why people just buy them. So we got hinges here. We've got this self-holding mechanism. They work great. This one just needs to be fixed on this spot. I was all stoked with them, how everything was going, and then I realized we're gonna have an issue here. Only when you lift them up, which is really strange. So it's just got a slight angle to one of them, and it's not really, well, I mean it's fixable, but it's not a quick fix. You gotta kind of take all these screws off and then adjust it, and it's very difficult to adjust it just millimeters because you've got holes there already. Cupboards, eh? Who would have thought? Getting killed by cupboards. We'll get her done. We are starting to work on the kitchen, the under the counter. Let's start that again. We bought a Dometic CR50 fridge. Probably a little bit small for how often we cook and eat, but we will have to just buy more often anyway. So I'm just working on that. Now it is a pretty tight fridge, so what we're thinking is that we're gonna have it elevated, so it's just a little bit easier to access. And then we'll use like a stowaway drawer into the bottom here. So I've just built this kind of support system. The fridge will sit on that. And I've left a pretty decent sized gap between where the propane stove comes, just to make sure there's proper circulation. I know in the Dometic manual they said make sure there's lots of airflow. That's why I've added, you can see them on that side or on that side, but little vents down there just to help circulate airflow. And then I think I'll do other like kind of vents over there, so we'll have a rotation. So these are pretty solid. There's not going anywhere, and then the fridge will just sit right on those, and I'll work on the drawer slides. So it's coming together. Now it's worked out actually pretty good. The gap here is this is the center point, so it's basically in the center. So I'll try and put a drawer that looks aesthetically good into the center for just, you know, a utensil drawer. Pull out all the way to the back, My propane tank is gonna go there, so I'll have like a short kind of drawer system, and then more water storage there. So while I'm working away here, look at this one. Shopping, sending me pics. What do you think of this one? What do you think of this one? Classic. I've been working on this little stand that's holding the little fridge. Pretty excited about it. It took me a few tries to get the, the right fit. This thing I had to notch out, but overall pretty happy with the way it came out. Fits beautifully. It's also key, like, it's a small fridge, so it's going to be, it would have been difficult to access on the ground, and then it's perfect for that passenger seat right there to just grab stuff out of the fridge and then pass it to the person cooking. So my next project for the day is going to be the faucet. I just lined it up and pretty pissed off at Amazon. I got this faucet, which is amazing, for $100 on Amazon. And they told me that the height between the bottom of the faucet and the top of the hose was 20 inches. And I've just lined it up and it's actually bigger than that. So it's kind of frustrating. It will work, but it does hit the top of the cabinet, which is not the end of the world, but come on, like, it's an engineered drawing, and I know it's a spring on top and it could be different for every faucet, but like, I've just been firing holes into our bloody new counter. So far this one's worked out nice. This is gonna be our soap dispenser. Ew. Soapy McSoap. We gotta find a home for this water pump. And what I'm thinking about is putting it somewhere along there. And what I'd like to do is keep all the water in one section and then seal it. So, in case a pipe does blow or run into some kind of leak, then it's manageable. It doesn't drip through the whole van, it's contained. There we go. So I just put this board here, which just worked out beautifully. Pop 2 screws in there, pop 2 screws in here. You can still access our extra water storage, which will fit 2 of these blue big jugs. Obviously not when the cap's on like that, but they'll slide under like that. And then we'll mount our, actually that's a pretty prime spot. Maybe I'll put the water filtration there and the pump somewhere else. So still figuring it out. Buddy really wanted to get a photo today, so she's made me rearrange the entire workshop.
Buddy! I need you too.
Yeah, I know. So we are now working on the leaning structure that goes beside the bed. So we've decided we're gonna go with the same tongue and groove that's on the ceiling, because we got a lot of white going on. And we're just building that structure out. We've added supports, and we're gonna leave gaps in between the supports, so it's getting a little technical, to cut out the sections so you can access your cubby, your storage. It's going pretty good.
Yeah, it's going well. The issue we're having is that our jigsaw is very old school, right, buddy? Or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's broken or I'm broken, but it
You're
just
not
seems
broken.
to just chew it out a lot more and not want to.
Yeah, you can even
And I replaced the blades and everything, but.
Oh, really?
Are you gonna show them? Watch this.
Don't ruin it.
Is that popping? Like,
Yeah.
like what is that? It's a brand new blade.
Oh, it looks okay though.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks really
It's
nice.
nothing
Can you
compared to
see?
my Milwaukee. This thing is butter. All right, the last compartment section.
So we use 2 different saws
Yeah.
to get this. Let's see. Like butter, baby. Nicely
looks really
done. Sand it up.
Well, a few little marks there, but
oh, it's
pretty good.
perfect.
Pretty good.
I'll sand it down.